Hey guys, what's up? Good morning. Happy Sunday. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope your Sunday is great. And by the way, happy Easter for you guys who are religious. Yeah, we are about a little bit less a day. For yesterday marked 4 weeks from my show, so we're a month out. So yeah, there's that. And we're just grinding towards the finish line, man. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about today was relationships, bro. They tricky. They're really tricky. Relationships are something, man, is like you gotta constantly work at. You gotta. I was once told when I was in my 20s and I was out there doing I was out there doing shit that niggas in the 20s do. So I was once told, man, it's like, yo, like when you find that girl and you get her, like you gotta keep dating her. I didn't understand what that meant. I was like, yo, what you mean? And they're like, yo, like you never stop dating her. You always gotta find ways to keep that romance going. It was like, and also too, you have to recognize when that romance is whether it's worth fighting for or whether it's not. And as I've gotten older, I've realized that, man. It's like I'm 32, man, so it's like I don't I don't waste time on past things or wonder what if, man. It's like, yo, it's like what you see with me is what you get. You know, it, there's no ulterior motives here, and like I'm too old for that shit. And I got a couple homegirls who are always calling me or texting me for advice, and I'm like, yo, it's like this is what's gonna happen. I'm gonna tell you why it's gonna happen. I'll tell you when it's gonna happen. And 95% of the time, when I say that shit, I'm right because I'm a dude and I know how we think. Like we simple, like men in general, we simple. It's like, see, the problem with most people is that they think they can change people, and you can't. It's like people go through all these hoops and all this shit of that too, and I'm like, you ain't gonna change him, and they're like, why? Because to him, it's a game. It's like he's just trying to get what he wants, and that's that. It's like you can't sit there and make a motherfucker change. It's not gonna happen. And I think a lot of people, they think they can change people. It's like, no, the only person you can change is the one looking right back at you in the mirror. The only person you can control is yourself. And so when people say all this stuff about like, oh well, I wanted him or her to change, yada yada, it's like, bro, you wasting your time, man. Because it's like people will tell you indirectly what they will or what they won't do, and it's up to you to figure out you know, what that is, whether it's worth going after. Because a lot of this shit, man, it's not worth it. It's not worth the pain, the agony, all that stuff, bro. It's like you just setting yourself up for for a very very long and hard heartbreak. Um, I've had situations where it's like I've been talking to girls and everything's going gravy, everything's going smooth, and the next thing I know, she stops talking to me. Then I found out it was her friends, who persuaded her not to talk to me, and I'm like, hey, what's your friends got to do with this situation? It's like you talking to me, right? It's like, and to me, it's amazing how other people will vie for other people's opinions or value their opinions and certain things. Yeah, but when it comes to a potential relationship and everything, man, it's like people just gotta, especially if you're in your 30s too. It's like you should know, what, you know, you should know what you want or what you expect out of somebody else, and if it's not that, then what are you doing? And yeah, man. And this episode 14, clanging and bang with Mikey. That's basically it, bro. It's like I just think that you gotta realize, that a lot of people out there aren't who they say they are, and then you just gotta you have to match up their actions with their words. Yeah, and I'm big on words, bro. It's like or actions, I should say, because Well, actions and words, because if they don't match up, then I know you full of shit. If they don't match up, I know that, like, number one, you fronting, and number two, all that shit that you saying or doing or posting on social media, that ain't the real you. So it's always interesting to me when I run into girls like that. It's like, bro, it's like I peep your Instagram, and it's like you talk about like knowing your self worth and all the other stuff like that too. But yet you talking to your homegirls about like, whoa, like so and so wants to get back together, so and so this, so and so that. I'm like, bro, but what about knowing your self worth, right? You know what I mean? It's like, why would you keep going back to a situation, that you know is not beneficial for you, that the outcome has already been decided. It doesn't make any sense to me. And so when I see stuff like that, I'm like, bro, it's like your mental's trash. It's like your mental is really screwed up if you keep going back to the same situations, expecting something new to happen. Your mental is trash. It's bins. Yeah, man. So with that being said, bro, it's like I don't, it's like going back to the Medea quote. It's like, and what Tyler Perry said, when he's like, yo, he's like, you gonna screw your life up putting lifetime expectations on seasonal people. And it's true when you really think about it, bro. It's like there's very few people out here who's gonna ride with you to the grave, bro. It's like there's a lot of these people are leaves, bro. They blow with the wind. They whatever direction the wind's going, they going with that. Or like another thing that in that skit he was talking about was branches. And he's like, a lot of people will pretend that they branches and whatnot, but you step out on them, they break on you. They leave you high and dry. He's like, very few people are roots, meaning that that they're strong and dependable. And it's true. It's like you gotta find people who are true to themselves, true to their words, and keep it moving from there, man. It's like you can't be wasting time on people who've already told you in more ways than one non-verbally that they don't want nothing to do with your ass. And I think when it comes down to relationships, bro, is that living in Cali and like coming back home to Hawaii and just seeing the shit that I've seen, all 3 decades of my life, is like a lot of people try to force shit that's no longer there, that's no longer working, that's no longer happiness. It's like, a relationship, yes, it should be work, but at the same time, it shouldn't feel like work. What I mean by that is you have to enjoy being around the other person, whether it's just you chilling watching Netflix or whatever it is, whether it's dead silence or you got to have some things in common. I mean, it's like you got to have shit in common. The minute it feels like you're being overworked or underappreciated, it's probably time for you to go. It's probably time for you to split. And when I hear people going through the same issues or whatnot, I just look at them like, you know better. You legitimately know better. But you continuously go back to this person thinking that he or she's going to change, and she's not, or he's not. And I think people have to stop putting lifetime expectations on seasonal people, because that's how you screw yourself up. That's how heartbreaking everything happens, man. Anyway, you guys have a great Sunday, man. Hopefully it's dry and sunny where you at. Your boy checking out. Goes.